What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rank Everything, the show where we rank everything. I'm your host, Ryan, and today we are back with ranking every video game, or not, probably not every video game, just this really, really big tier list of video games based on which ones would teach Caveman the most about modern society. So, for this one, we're just, as I said, we'll go over the tiers again. Here we have, at the bottom, Caveman goes back to hunting mammoths. Then we have Caveman is confused but entertained. From there we have Caveman sees how important violence is. Then Caveman invents Wi-Fi. And then finally at the top we have Caveman becomes new Amazon CEO. So, next up we've got a banger in the original Five Nights at Freddy's. So unless you've been living under a rock for the last... God, it's been more than 10 years now. I'm pretty sure Five Nights at Freddy's came out when I was still in grade school. And so that's just freaking absolutely taken off. So, but I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's, I mean, it changed. I mean, God, it like changed. It's not that it, I don't know. Maybe I'm not the right person to talk about this. It's not that it changed horror games or just games in general, but like, it's got such a deep, expansive lore, and I have no idea. I don't ever think that was the start to begin with. I mean, anyone who's watched Game Theory or knows the story of Five Nights knows about all that sort of stuff. Five Nights at Freddy's, if the Caveman, let's see, it's back to the tier list. If the Caveman can, like, if you could sit the Caveman down and explain to him all the intense, deeper meanings and the lore and the nuance, I think he'd totally, like, go and, like, you know, invents Wi-Fi at least. But it's just a game. I think it's like the kind of thing for, like, the first time that Freddy jumps out and scares him, he's just going to destroy the computer. So, I think he's going to be confused but entertained. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 introduced more mechanics. So I think we're going to put it in the same category, but I guess I would rank it higher, technically, that kind of thing. Just because, like, it introduces stuff like the vent mechanics, and, you know, you can put the mask on to trick the animatronics, and there's more lore and all. Destiny. So, God, when Destiny first came out, Destiny is still a fun game to play, but, like, it is not the kind of game that you play these days. It's not really the kind of game you play for, I don't know, that reason. I don't know. That doesn't feel like the right thing to say. Destiny, when I played Destiny, it was, like, super fun. Like, I loved playing Destiny. It's got really good gunplay, looks great, cool abilities, and places that you could go to. It had an interesting story that I liked. And then the issue with Destiny is that if you want to be able to experience the full story, you either watch somebody else play it, or you spend $60 again to get the next story expansion. I don't know. Destiny is good, but it's just going to go in the freaking violence category for now. Alien Isolation. I don't think the Caveman is going to like Alien Isolation because there's no fighting, really. I think you get a gun that you can sort of defend yourself with, but, like, I don't know. So, like, the entire focus of the game is to run and hide and survive and escape the aliens, because fighting them is not really a possibility. And so Alien Isolation, I think he goes back to hunting mammoths after that one. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I mean, it's just a violence kind of game. Now, well, okay, I probably said this whenever I ranked Cold War here at the top. Call of Duty games do not get enough credit for how great their campaign stories are. Like, I talked about this again in the last video. I played Call of Duty World War II, the newer World War II game that came out back in, like, 2017 or 2018 or something like that. Maybe it was 2020. Somewhere around there. And, jeez, that game's story is so fucking good. Those voice performances are great. It plays good. It's so gripping. And it just, the Call of Duty games don't get enough credit for how good their stories were. And when I played Advanced Warfare, and I liked it. I liked the concept of, you know, if this guy if one person had enough money and was able to give all these private soldiers good enough tech, they could take over the world. That's essentially what the premise of Advanced Warfare is. And the main villain is played by Kevin Spacey, and it's a great performance on his part. And it's just, if the Caveman can understand it, I do think it deserves to like be up here with the Wi-Fi. Assassin's Creed Unity was the French game, I think. It's the one that takes place in France. He plays like French revolutionaries, sort of. I've never played it, but I've heard horrible things about it. I think it's just going to show him the importance of violence, because the game, you can just fight. I mean, that's how the Assassin's Creed games are always, right? Assassin's Creed Rogue, I don't know anything about this one, but it's got a ship in the background, which means it must have something to do with sailing. Sailing became a really big part of the Assassin's Creed games after Black Flag. And so I'm going to put Assassin's Creed Rogue up, probably just up in the violence category again. Infamous First Light. So, is this a game? I thought that First Light was a DLC for Second Son, but I could be wrong. But I remember it being a DLC for Second Son. But it's just the one where you get to play as the girl whose ability lets her transform into like neon or like neon light or whatever the hell. And I never played it, never watched anyone play it, but it's based in the Infamous universe. I mean, it's going to have all the same sort of stuff that we love about Infamous. But I feel like, I don't know if the Caveman can exactly wrap his head around being able to transform into something like that. And, you know, I think probably you probably put it in the violent category, because the Infamous games are really violent. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Definitely going to go in the violence category at the very least, because, I mean, it's just a fucking awesome super game. It's an awesome superhero game. We get to do plenty of fighting and other stuff like that. And, yeah, you know. But, like, there's other stuff, like, I haven't played it, but if it's anything like the typical Spider-Man story, or, you know, like, rescue the girl, save the city, you know, all with a smile on your face and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to resonate deep in the Caveman's soul enough for me to put it any higher than the violence category. Skylanders, I'm going to put that in the violence category as well. I think he will be confused but entertained, but I think, like, more than that, because it is really just a beat 'em up, so I think he'd like that. Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor. Okay, so this is going to be one where I think it's going to resonate with him, because, like, the whole story is that Talion, who's the main character of Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, his family is murdered, and it's just a revenge story. And I feel like the Caveman would be able to relate to that, because the Caveman certainly would have, like, a family that maybe got killed by a rival tribe, or, you know, got eaten by some saber-toothed tigers or something like that. Some evil thing in his eyes. And I think that it's going to get him thinking. Violence, without a doubt. The game is insanely gory, but we're going to put Shadow of Mordor all the way up in the Wi-Fi category. Sunset Overdrive. This is I don't want to call it like a ripoff or a copy of Dead Rising, because that's not exactly what it is, but it's in that same sort of style where you play as I don't play the game because it was on Xbox and I've never owned an Xbox. But you just you play as it's like a really flashy zombie killing or apocalypse game. Just put it in the violence category. Borderlands pre-sequel. So, Borderlands pre-sequel does not get the respect that it deserves. I'll come out right now and say that I am probably biased, because Borderlands 3 is my favorite game. And I'm definitely going to buy Borderlands 4. It came out today that I'm recording this, on the 11th. And, yes, Borderlands 3 is my favorite game. I love all the Borderlands games. I'm currently replaying through the whole series again right now, just because I do that every year, like every 6 months or something like that. Borderlands pre-sequel has a bad reputation, and I think it's just because, one, it came after 2, and the way that people talk about 2, you would think it was the greatest thing to ever happen in all of humanity, which is not true. I'll be the first person to say that. And then you know, it's made by a different studio. It's made by 2K Australia and not the main 2K studio. So I feel like people give it shit for that. And of course, it sort of paints the main Vault Hunters, like Lilith and Roland and all of them, in a different light than what people were used to, and I think that was just too controversial for the game to be successful. But Borderlands Pre-Sequel is a good game. I'd absolutely recommend it. What I'll also say is, the thing that makes Pre-Sequel the most unique is the fact that the main playable characters, the 4 Vault Hunters, all of them are villains that you face at some point later on, like in the second game or the third game. Like, one of the DLC characters for Pre-Sequel is Aurelia Hammerlock, Sir Hammerlock's sister from the third game, who you fight as a boss, and she's like she's the major villain of Eden 6. And it's just the game is so different. And it's just, I don't know, it doesn't have the reputation that it deserves to have. It is a great game, and you should play it if you haven't. But as far as making the caveman think and teaching him about modern society, I mean, it has some really good story stuff. Like when the Vault Hunters betray Jack, or when they all work to sort of betray Jack, but then Jack also does some really horrible things and other stuff like that. Like, the game is very upsetting. And I think that was a good decision that they made to make the story so upsetting. I think the caveman is gonna make him invent the Wi-Fi. I think this is a Wi-Fi game. Okay, so that is gonna do it for this video. If y'all enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. I would super duper appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel and, you know, watch the videos all the way through. That watch time is very important for the growth of the channel, as well as subscribing to the channels. Leave a like on this video so that YouTube will recommend my channel and these videos more to you as well as others in the future. And then finally, so I haven't done this in a while just because I've honestly been lazy about it, and of course it hasn't really been doing much anyway, but the channel has a Patreon. It's in the link, or it's in the description of this video. I intend to start posting there again soon. It'll just be a new video of some kind every Sunday. I've decided to open it up to not only ranking videos, maybe like some research, gameplay videos, other things like that. It's only $1 a month for an extra piece of content every Sunday. And so it would mean everything to me if you'd go there, you know, give it a try. I have some videos up there right now that you don't have to subscribe for. You can pay to watch them, but you don't have to subscribe to view them if you don't want to. But I said it's $1 a month. It is literally as cheap as Patreon will let me make it. I cannot make it cheaper than $1. Alright, that'll be in the description of this video. And finally, leave a comment down below letting me know what ranking you want to see in the future. It can be anything. The channel is called Rank Everything. Once again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good one.